The crystalline spires of the Galactic Council chamber stretched impossibly high, their surfaces refracting the light of 3 different suns through the transparent dome overhead. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at the center of the vast amphitheater, surrounded by representatives from 47 different species, each more alien than the last. The air hummed with translation matrices and the subtle vibrations of beings who communicated through bioluminescence, pheromones, and electromagnetic pulses. Zephyr Prime Korthak, the insectoid representative of the hegemony, clicked his mandibles in what passed for authoritative speech among his kind. His compound eyes reflected the chamber's light like fractured rainbows as he spoke. Human delegate, his voice buzzed through the universal translator. Your species has violated every known principle of technological development. In 3 solar cycles you have achieved what should have taken 50. This is impossible without external assistance or— He paused dramatically. Forbidden knowledge. The assembled aliens murmured, or their equivalent of murmuring. The gaseous Etherians pulsed with agitated colors, while the silicon-based rock molders ground their crystalline appendages together in disapproval. Sarah noticed how they all leaned forward slightly. Their various sensory organs focused on her with predatory intensity. Commander Zelnara of the aquatic depth swimmers activated her moisture suit speakers, her voice carrying the fluid cadences of her underwater homeworld. We demand full disclosure of your technological advancement methods. No species develops faster than light travel, quantum computing, and biological immortality simultaneously. It violates the natural progression doctrine. Sarah adjusted her simple black suit jacket and smiled. It was a small, almost amused expression that somehow made the vast chamber feel smaller. She had expected this. With respect, honored delegates, Sarah began, her voice calm and carrying easily through the acoustic design of the chamber. What you're asking for isn't really about our technology, is it? The question hung in the air like a challenge. Korthak's antennae twitched irritably. Explain yourself, human. You want to know our secret? Sarah's smile widened slightly. You've spent millennia conquering worlds, absorbing species, collecting their knowledge and adding it to your vast databases. You've built an empire on the assumption that intelligence follows predictable patterns, that every species will develop along similar technological trees. She gestured to the assembled crowd, and then we showed up. The Vorthon delegate, a being that resembled living shadow, spoke through gravitational waves that the translators struggled to convert. Your species achieved in decades what took us centuries. This suggests either temporal manipulation or access to archives of a precursor civilization. Both are strictly regulated. Sarah laughed, actually laughed, and the sound seemed to unsettle several delegates. The massive, rock-like Titan-born shifted uneasily, their movements creating small tremors in the chamber floor. You still don't understand, Sarah said, shaking her head. You're looking for some external source, some cheat code we discovered. But our secret isn't something we found. It's something we are. She began walking slowly around the center of the chamber, her footsteps echoing despite the advanced acoustic dampening. Every eye, sensor, and detection organ followed her movement. Let me tell you what makes humans different, Sarah continued. Every species here today achieved spaceflight through logical progression. You identified a problem, researched solutions, developed technology, tested it, refined it, and implemented it. Very sensible, very predictable. Korthak leaned forward. As it should be. Order brings progress. Does it? Sarah stopped walking and turned to face him directly. Tell me, when your people first discovered fire, did they sit in committees to discuss its potential applications? Did they form regulatory bodies to oversee its development? Of course. Safety protocols are essential. Humans didn't. Sarah's interruption sent a ripple of shock through the assembly. A human saw lightning strike a tree, watched it burn, and thought, I wonder what would happen if I touched that flame to this dry grass. Half of them died learning to control it. The other half changed the world. The Etherian delegate pulsed a deep red. Reckless endangerment of one's species is evolution, Sarah finished. See, you're all trying to find the external secret to our advancement. But the secret is internal. It's not what we discovered, it's how we think. She gestured to a holographic display that materialized at her touch, showing the development timelines of various galactic species. Look at your own histories. Every breakthrough came after extensive research, careful planning, and risk assessment. Very logical. But humans, we have a saying, Hold my beer and watch this. The translation matrices struggled with the phrase, causing confusion among several delegates. Your species plans for success, Sarah explained. We plan for spectacular failure and then figure out how to turn that failure into something useful. When we invented nuclear power, we immediately thought, what if we made this into a bomb? And when we developed computers, someone said, let's connect all of them together and see what happens. When we achieved spaceflight, we decided to strap ourselves to controlled explosions and trust in luck and engineering. Commander Zelnara's suit speakers crackled. This is madness. How do you maintain social order? How do you prevent catastrophe? Sarah's smile turned almost predatory. We don't. We embrace catastrophe. We plan for it. Some of our greatest discoveries came from accidents, mistakes, and things going spectacularly wrong. You want to know how we developed faster than light travel? Someone mixed the wrong chemicals in a quantum experiment, created a spatial tear, and instead of destroying the evidence and starting over, we said, interesting. Let's make it bigger. The chamber fell silent except for the low hum of life support systems. Sarah could see the wheels turning in various alien minds, trying to process the concept of intentional chaos as a development strategy. But the real secret, Sarah continued, her voice dropping to almost a whisper that somehow carried to every corner of the vast space, isn't our recklessness. It's that we never ever stop asking what if. You've all reached comfortable levels of technology and stopped pushing boundaries. You've created stable, predictable societies. Very admirable, very limited. Zephyr Prime Korthak's mandibles clicked rapidly. You must share these development methodologies. The Council demands, no. Sarah's voice cut through his demand like a blade. The single word echoed in the chamber with surprising force. She straightened her jacket again and picked up the small briefcase she'd set down when she arrived. You want our secret? I just gave it to you. The question is whether you have the courage to use it. Human delegate, you cannot simply, actually I can. Sarah began walking toward the chamber's exit, her footsteps the only sound in the stunned silence. See, there's one more thing that makes humans different from every species in this room. She paused at the threshold and looked back over her shoulder, that same small smile playing at her lips. When someone demands our secrets, we have a choice. We can comply or we can say no and walk away. Guess which one we choose? And with that, Dr. Sarah Chen walked out of the Galactic Council chamber, leaving behind 47 different species to contemplate the terrifying possibility that humanity's greatest strength wasn't what they knew, it was their absolute refusal to be controlled by anyone else's definition of impossible. The chamber remained silent for a long time after the door sealed behind her, each delegate lost in thoughts they weren't entirely comfortable having. Outside, Sarah smiled as she activated her personal communicator. Control, this is Chen, Phase 1 complete. They want to know our secret? Let them figure out what to do with the one I just gave them. She looked up at the alien sky and chuckled. Time for Phase 2.